Action.
Call to order the April 8th, 2019 Latrobe City Council meeting. Please stand for the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll ask for a moment of silence to give thanks, to ask for guidance, or to just quietly relax. Thank you. Roll call, Holly.
Mr. Bartels?
Here.
Mr. Baldneri?
Here.
Mr. Forrest?
Here.
Mrs. Weller?
Here.
Mr. Kelly?
Here.
Mr. Danko?
Here.
Mayor Wolford?
Here. Since we had two meetings this month, we have two approvals for minutes. So I'll ask for the approval of the minutes from the March 11th, 2019 Latrobe City Council meeting.
Okay, I move the minutes of the March 11, 2019 meeting be approved and accepted and be permitted to remain on the Secretary's desk, where they will be available for reading and inspection to anyone.
May I have a second, please?
I second the motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And since the March 25th agenda session was a special voting meeting, I need an approval of the minutes from the March 25th, 2019 special voting meeting. Who has those?
Madam Mayor and Council, I move that the minutes of the March 25th special voting meeting be approved and accepted and permitted to remain on the Secretary's desk, where they will be available for reading and inspection to anyone.
Thank you, Mr. Forrest. May I have a second, please?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Weller. Any questions or discussion?
Madam Mayor, since I was not present at that meeting, I'm going to abstain from voting on it.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 6 ayes and 1 abstention. At this time, I'll ask for the approval of the fiscal department reports and the paid bills for the month of March 2019. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Baldneri, thank you. May I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. At this time, we have our citizens' request portion of the meeting related to agenda items. Anyone who would like to speak before this council with items related to something on the agenda, please go to the microphone, state your name and address, and please keep your comments 3 to 5 minutes. Anything? Okay, we'll move on. Committee reports. Finance Committee. Not anything right now. Public Safety and Fire. You guys have anything? No.
Nothing at this time, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Public Works? Nothing right now.
Nothing.
Personnel? You got nothing. Events? Anything?
The rabbit race is going to be, next Saturday? And it supports the Angel Arms, so hope to see you all there. So in the morning,
Okay. Thank you.
8:30.
And the showcase? Anything right now? Okay.
I'm awaiting, I haven't checked my email the last couple of days, but I'm awaiting some resumes. We're gonna have to move the vote on that to accommodate a banquet that the school district is hosting that same night as our May agenda meeting,
So the presentation we have to move.
yeah, we're moving the presentation to June.
Okay. Board and Authority reports. Skip, anything?
Nothing.
Jerry, anything on Park and Rec?
No.
Anything at the library?
Nothing to report.
Revitalization?
Yeah, there's an interesting thing that happened. One of the tenants at the incubator, Matt Fridge, he started the Kickstarter today, and he's doing a movie called Sheets versus Wawa.
I saw that.
And it's actually even gotten national attention.
Is that about the bathrooms? No,
No, it's about the two.
of the two competing.
Two competing
Okay.
establishments in Pennsylvania, with Sheets being mostly in the west and Norwalk being in the east. And the two CEOs are on board, and he's planning on making a one-hour documentary out of it.
That's really cool. And he's housed in our incubator right now, so it's really
So
good.
what's his final goal as far as the business goes? Just creating movies or? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, he was working in Pittsburgh, and now he basically started his own startup here. And he's trying to do it.
Media, it's all media-based things, so I think he'll do commercials or
Okay.
anything media related is the way I
Yeah, he has done commercials already, I know
Mhm.
that.
Okay, department reports, Mike?
Just a couple things. We put out the bid our 2019 Monmouth paving. The bids came in. Victor Paving was the lowest bidder on paving. Our paving this year, it's probably going to be broken up into two separate bids due to the fact that we're still waiting on HUD to approve funding for the 2019 CDBG program for the Mary Street reconstruction. It's been approved for funding by CDBG, but we're waiting on HUD to release the funds. That could take place this year, or it could take place next year. So to provide the match, we had to make sure we had money available for the match with CDBG. So what we did is there was two streets that we needed to get paved this year due to construction reasons, Josephine and Pine Streets. So we're going to go ahead and just pave those two and then revisit the issue later on in the summer to see where HUD is in the process and go from there.
Mike, have we used Victor Paving before?
Yes, excellent job. The other thing is, just want to let council know that we're going to be having a utility meeting April 15th at 9 o'clock here in the council chambers. This is going to be with SBK Engineering, and it's going to discuss the utilities for the traffic signal replacement project. So again, that's April 15th at 9 o'clock here in the council chambers.
It's next Monday.
Correct. And, recently, I was made aware of two trees in Lot A. They're right near where the Salvo train station is, the walkway. The trees are our trees. There are two large pin oaks. And what's going on is a lot of those tree branches are falling down onto the walkway going into the Salvos. And also the branches are falling out on the road where the cars are parking in the parking lot. So I'm researching available bids to see how much it's going to cost to remove those trees before they turn into a bigger potential problem than they already are right now. So I'm waiting on that. I got one bid back, but I'm waiting on two other bids, and we're going to get those removed. So just want to let everyone know if they see some trees fall, what's going on there. So, but I think that was it for public works.
Chief Sleesman?
Just a couple things, Madam Mayor. First of all, our new officer, Sean Grosso, is progressing very rapidly, doing very well. To his horn a little bit, we had another save today on Narcan. He actually did the administration of the Narcan. Young lady overdosed. She was flatline gone, and he brought her back. We got convictions on all of the homicides over the last, there were 2016 cases, the St. Clair homicide where we arrested 3 individuals. All 3 of those went to trial, got convictions on all 3 of those. The 333 Main Street homicide, we got a guilty plea out of him. There is a spaghetti dinner, I believe it's May 18th, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
May 18th, I can't remember the union.
It's USW Local 1537
Yeah.
that is sponsoring a spaghetti dinner on May 18th at the American Legion.
Yeah, all the proceeds are gonna benefit, they've had a couple meetings with me, all of their proceeds are gonna benefit the police department. All of that proceeds will go towards an epoxylizer, and that's on May 18th at the American Legion here on Livingston Street.
I have some flyers that I'll bring down for you, Holly, for you guys to put out here. And also just to mention that I was, they also informed me that the Katrina Rafferty firm has said that they will match up to $1,000 towards the Latrobe Police Department, towards this fundraising project. So I think that's wonderful. So May 18th, we've got 2 more meetings before that happens. So you can expect to hear about that at every meeting, right, John?
Yes.
Is that something that I put on the website as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And I talked with the mayor briefly about this, but we need to relook at the agreement we have with the school district regarding the school resource officer, Officer Dare. We need to.
It expired, basically.
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. I mean, the dates passed, but that's okay.
We just need to renew the agreement with the school board. They wish to continue the program and continue to have one of our officers as an SRO at the school district. So we're going to be taking a look at that in the very near future.
I mean, it's just a procedural issue. We just need to update it. And I think everybody's in support of it. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I think we all can agree. So it's kind of an administrative thing.
And we'll talk about the parking issues and other traffic issues at LES later on in this meeting, and that's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. Chief Brazili?
I don't have anything pertaining to city business, but brought to my attention and asked if I could bring this to council's attention. If anybody that knows Gabe Monzo, Gabe's in a state of dire straits really with liver disease. He has found a donor. He will be having the surgery tomorrow. And there is a donation post office box set up, and the anti-rejection drugs are very expensive, and some of the treatments will not be covered under their insurance. So my wife works up there, obviously, and she's one of the bosses. And there is a post office box if somebody wants it to mail donations or contributions to help fund his medications and some of the needs that he'll have after the surgery. So it's Gabriel Monzo, a post office box, 400 Youngstown, PA. Glasses, 15696. Make a monetary contribution to Gabriel Monzo. And if you have Facebook, it's under Gabe's Crew, and you can look that up. So,
Thanks, John.
so fire department's going to be donating $1,000 just
That's
to
great.
benefit his son and his needs. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. Ann?
I don't have anything to
Okay, Mr. Griner, you're up.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. The first item for action tonight is a resolution. It's appointing Charles Dominic for a successive term. It's a 5-year term to the Latrobe Industrial Development Authority. The term will expire on January 31st, 2024. So we need a motion to adopt this resolution.
Can you push the button down and use your mic, because I think some of the people are straining to hear you.
Oh.
May I have a motion to adopt the resolution as outlined by the solicitor?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Bartels. May I have a second, please? I'll second. Thank you, Mrs. Weller. Any questions? Holly?
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mrs. Weller?
Yes.
Mr. Bartels?
Yes.
Mr. Ballneri?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Danko?
Yes.
Mayor Wolford?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, the next item for action is the adoption of a resolution. This is done every year, and it pertains to the 4th of July fireworks display. In this resolution, it is authorizing you and/or the manager to sign the hold harmless agreement, which is entered into between the owner of the property and the Latrobe 4th of July Celebration, Inc. So we would need a resolution authorizing you and/or the manager to sign that agreement.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt the resolution as outlined by the solicitor? As he mentioned, this has been going on for, I don't know, 50 years. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. May I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Any questions or discussions? Ollie?
Mr. Ballneri,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Forrest,
Yes.
Mr. Bartels,
Yes.
Mr. Jenko,
Yes.
Mrs. Weller,
Yes.
Mayor Wolford.
Yes.
The third item, Madam Mayor, is the adoption of a resolution awarding the 2019 hot mix paving project contract to Victor Paving. Victor Paving was the lowest bid at $49,386.82. Their bid is attached to the resolution as well.
May I have a motion to adopt the resolution as outlined?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ballneri. May I have a second, please?
Second, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Forrest. Any questions?
Mrs. Weller,
Yes.
Mr. Jenko,
Yes.
Mr. Ballneri,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Forrest,
Yes.
Mr. Bartels,
Yes.
Mayor Wolford.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, the fourth item on this particular agenda is the approval of a motion to authorize the solicitor to prepare and advertise an ordinance amending Chapter 256 of the Borough Code, or the City Code, excuse me, to provide a mechanism to create parking restrictions for specific periods of time.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you both. Thank you, Mrs. Weller and Mr. Jenko. Discussions?
Just a question, Mr. Brenner. What kind of, is this the adoption of something done last year, or is this something different for this year?
This is something different for this year. It pertains to two different areas in the vicinity of the new school. And the next resolution provides a little more of the background for this, but essentially what we're looking at doing for the short term is putting into place an experimental regulation for up to 90 days. And then after we get feedback from several sources, we would then contemplate preparing an ordinance to make regulations permanent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Just out of curiosity, is it a fine? Is it a tow? Is it a warning?
Initially, Mr. Bartel, it will be awareness, warnings. After we determine a reasonable amount of time has passed, then it would result in parking tickets.
Does this impact any of the people that live on Cherry Street or Cedar Street?
I don't believe so, sir. The residents on Cedar Street park on the southern side of Cedar Street, in front of the residents or behind the residents. I know of no one who parks on the northern side of Cedar. On Cherry Street, I believe it would affect one vehicle that routinely parks in the same spot every day. On the northern side of Cherry, on the southern side of Cherry, which is closest to the school, it would affect no one.
But there's also no houses there, correct? In the areas that you're looking at? On that side, I mean, like, we're,
If you look at your map,
yeah.
are you talking about Cherry Street?
I'm talking about Cherry, because we're just talking about where that building is.
Yes, the no parking would be on the northern side, the side away from the school on Cherry would be just from Ligonier to that first alley, which is directly behind that alley, or I'm sorry, behind that
It used to be a chiropractor or something was there.
business there, yes. On the side of the school on Cherry, it would be the entire length. No one parks over there other than the school business, kids dropping off, things like that.
Would that impact the ability of people to drop their children off?
It would not. They're gonna, we're trying to stop parents from pulling their parking, getting out of their vehicles, walking their children into school. You know, they just need to simply pull in there, stop, let their children out, and go on their way. So if we could, and that would free up a lot of traffic.
You're talking about on the Cherry Street side?
Cherry Street. Oh, now on Cedar Street, they line up on Cedar Street, waiting to pull in onto the property at LES. Again, it would have no impact, you know, they can stay in line waiting to pull in where.
But the Cherry Street thing is just people that don't want to get in the line, is that it? Is that how that's probably happening?
Correct. They're trying to circumvent the process.
The drop-off system?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, okay, so my concern is now that parents are gonna get creative now and say, okay, now I'm gonna park in front of the houses on the northern side of Cherry or the southern side of Cedar. And that would impact the people that live there. I mean, do we need to protect those people so that they can, I mean, by either doing permit parking or something, some other way to make sure that their parking isn't encumbered when they need to go to work or when they come home from work?
I think, Mr. Janko, with our continued presence there, to move them along, I don't see that as an issue. That, at that time of the day, you know, not everyone is left for work, so there's still, you know, some residential parking there. There's very little space available for parents.
Yeah.
To pull over there.
And the other thing regarding this, I don't know if the chief said it or not, but the no parking is going to be only during specified times. It's going to be in the morning from 8.
Yeah, it'll only be Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 9:30, and then in the afternoon, 3:30 to 4:30.
Okay.
So I think it'll have very low impact on the residents, if any impact. There's one vehicle that parks there on that first block on Cherry, that first little section on Cherry Street. One vehicle that it will affect parks there every day.
And there's room for him to park elsewhere, correct?
That's correct.
Like in front of his house?
That's correct.
But isn't that, if you're making it no parking on the southerly side the whole way, isn't that going to force those people who parked there and waited to avoid the line, going to the other side, to the residential side? Because they would have a right to park there, as I would see, unless it was,
I think that was Mr. Janko's point, but to John's point, there isn't much room there to park because the residents are already
Yeah.
parking there.
Correct.
And that's part of the reason why we're doing this, is temporarily for 90 days, and we'll work the kinks out.
We'll get a feel for it, see how it works out, and get some feedback from residents, the school, you know, our guys that are out there, the fire police, crossing guards. We'll see how it works for 90 days. We'll be much better prepared for next to the school in August.
Thank you.
Yes, this is just carried through to the end of the school year, basically.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, I have a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion, Madam Mayor.
I think we have it already. Yeah, we
Do we
do.
have a second?
Yeah, we
Do you have
do.
any questions?
Because we can't talk about it until we have a motion and a second, so. All in favor? Oh, wait. Mr. Forrest has a question.
Just on the section 4 there, it says this resolution shall terminate, no longer be of any force or effect on July 8, 2019. Does that mean we gotta bring this up every year? Or should it just be targeted for school time?
That's,
So that we don't have to do this every year, just,
well, that's on the next item that we're going to address, the resolution. And actually, under the code, you can adopt experimental regulations, but it's only for a period up to 90 days.
Okay.
And then at that point, we've got to take some permanent action.
That's why,
That's what my question was.
yeah, that's why we're
That would
gonna,
only be one more time.
right, that's why he's gonna prepare and advertise an ordinance
Wouldn't be
for
continued.
that, yeah.
That's
Okay.
my question.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Madam Mayor, the final item for consideration is a resolution, and the resolution is designating portions of Cherry Street and Cedar Street as prohibited parking areas on a temporary basis. This is pursuant to Section 256-4 of the code. There are 4 parts to the resolution. Part number 1 identifies the portions of Cherry Street that will be designated as parking prohibited. It's from Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And 2 locations on Cherry Street, the northern side from Ligonier Street to the unnamed alley. It's a distance of approximately 100 feet. And then the southern side from Ligonier Street to Pine Street, which is the entire 300 block of Cherry Street. The second section identifies the section of Cedar Street that will be designated as parking prohibited. Same days of the week, same times, and it is the northern side from Ligonier Street to Lincoln Avenue. And then the third section is, the resolution is effective as of April 9th, 2019. The fourth section, the resolution shall terminate and no longer be of force and effect as of July 8th, 2019. And then finally, the fifth section is that the manager, the public works director, any other city officer is authorized to direct and execute all documents that are necessary to take all action to carry out the within resolution.
So may I have a motion to adopt the resolution as outlined by the solicitor?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Forish. Any other discussion?
Yes, a question. Do we know what the meeting date is in July? And the reason I ask the question, do we have a gap here between when this one will terminate and the next resolution would become effective? In other words, using July 8th, if that's 2 or 3 days before a meeting, why not extend it to the meeting?
The meeting's the 10th.
Yeah, but this is only in effect during school. There's no
That's
school
true.
in July.
There's no school in July, so if we did
It's
it,
the summer.
yeah. July 8th is a Monday, so that would be the meeting date.
Okay.
Then we're good, we're good.
And I have a question, Chief. How are we going to notify the parents that this is in effect?
Actually, we had a meeting this morning with the school board. They're going to send a letter. Judith say she was going to send a letter?
Yeah, they're gonna
They're
notify.
going to send a letter to parents notifying them of this. We're going to be there talking to the parents as well.
Any other questions?
Mr. Ballneri,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Danko,
Yes.
Mr. Forrest,
Yes.
Mrs. Weller,
Yes.
Mr. Bartels,
Yes.
Mayor Wolfert.
Yes. That's it. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we got under unfinished business? Mike, got anything?
Yeah, we got some things, I guess, for those of you did make the meeting for the Brewery Bridge last week, I can talk a little bit about that. The county, along with PennDOT, came on April 4th, presented a meeting, preliminary meeting about the Brewery Bridge replacement. Some of the things that are going to be changed or going to happen is the superstructure is what's going to be replaced on the bridge. They're going to do half the bridge at a time, and there's going to be very limited pier work. And what I mean by that is they're still waiting on the core samples to come back and make sure that they're not gonna run into any issues within the piers itself. So we're not sure on that, but the main work is gonna be the superstructure, the top layer of the bridge. And like I said, they're gonna do half at a time. Northbound traffic will remain open the whole entire time. Southbound traffic would have to be detoured. The detour route that they're gonna implement is West Second to Garfield to Unity Street, back to 981. During the construction, pedestrian traffic is also gonna remain available to the north side that they're gonna be working on. And it looks like the project got pushed out a little further in advance of what initially we thought. 2020 bids will go out for the project, and 2021, the anticipated construction will begin for one construction season. I think they were looking at April and October as a construction season, so to complete that. Utilities are gonna be, not really relocated, but they're gonna be new, whenever they do the bridge. They're gonna replace the water in the gas line. And, that was about it for the meeting.
For people like me that are geographically challenged, that means that you'll always be there'll always be a way open to go to the hospital. Because I'm terrible with north and south. I need it a little clearer, so there'll always be traffic will always go into the hospital.
Correct, and there's going to be plenty more meetings to discuss details pertaining to the project as we get closer. This was just a preliminary meeting, just to discuss what was going on, what's going to be replaced, and so once we get closer, I'll fill council in and the public.
I think we were glad to hear that it's 2021 and not 2020, because our concern was that we were going to have the downtown construction project going on at the same time we had that, but that's not going to happen, so that's good news.
Mike, you mentioned the construction season, April to October. Is that to complete the entire project or just one lane?
Entire project.
They said.
Yes.
I think we heard that.
They said, no, they don't expect any problems, because we we're kind of gun shy when it comes to bridges.
Yeah. Another thing I have is, we've been working with Ann this past week, and just wanted to kind of get the word out that we're going to be hosting a stormwater management class here in the council chambers Tuesday, April 30th at 1 o'clock p.m. I think it was 1 to 3. And basically what this class is the Westmore Conservation District. They're going to be coming in and doing an educational and informative session about what residents can do to help control flooding on the property. Different ways that they can install rain gardens, rain barrels, replacement of sidewalks with permeable paver materials, a lot of different ways. So it's Unity Township and Derry also sponsored in with us, so it's going to be a surrounding area. Yes, we're going to have it here. So that's, again, that's Tuesday, April 3rd, 1 o'clock here in the council chambers.
While we're on that topic, I just want to, I had asked Mike to maybe for the March agenda prep meeting to put together maybe a short presentation for all of us on the MS4. I mean, this kind of all goes together.
Yeah, it does, and we're going to be talking about stormwater management, what we have been talking about, what we have to do as a city or responsibilities to comply with the pollutant reduction plan that's put in place by the Environmental Protection Agency as well as the Department of Environmental Protection. And I'll discuss that in further detail, what our responsibilities, requirements pertaining to this, and what we have to do as a municipality to comply.
And we're kind of up against it, because we need to.
Yeah, we have no choice. We have to do it, and back in 2003 is when we started the permit, I think with, if I'm right, around 2003, and it wasn't until 2017 that our newest permit that started in 2018 required us to take action to reduce the sediment that goes into the creek and the waterways. And the sediment has to be reduced 10% each year for 5 years. And like I said, I'll get in with all the details of why and what we have to do at the agenda.
Yeah, and I hope, it's kind of complicated, and we did have a meeting with LMA and Gibson Thomas, and I think you were at one, Ralph. And then I think there was another one after that I couldn't attend, trying to work out all these details, but the onus is on the city. The financial burden's on the city. So I just thought Mike and I thought it might be helpful if he kind of went through more of a detailed explanation of it for council as well as any residents that want to come, so they understand that this isn't the city deciding to do this. This is a
This is
requirement.
unfunded mandate, and every municipality is pretty much going through with this. There is some municipalities that don't have to comply with this. It depends upon population, location. With the city, we're urbanized, so we tend to create a lot of stormwater runoff, and that runoff has to be, not really treated, in a way treated, filtered, but it has to be cleaned before it reaches the drinking waterways. So I have an abundant amount of information, so I'll get into all the details.
Too many details.
I'm going to limit it to about 20 minutes. So.
I'm wondering, Mike, if you thought about maybe taping the April 30th meeting. Are you going to do that? Okay, thank you.
And maybe we can put that on the website if they don't mind.
So that was that, and I think I might have one other thing else. Just briefly, I had a meeting with Dairy Township. Dairy Township is going to be working on the replacement of a pipe at Raymond and Montana Streets. Basically, it was, I don't know the condition of the pipe, but I guess it's deteriorated or whatnot, but they have to replace that. That's kind of right on the borderline of the city. So we are responsible for a stormwater line, 41 linear feet of stormwater line that has to be replaced, and about 1/3 of the end retaining wall where it goes into and starts at Sulphur Run. What we worked on is, they're trying to hurry up with this project. So what we're going to do is on our portion of the funding, we're probably going to do in-kind service of some nature for Dairy Township for them to finish the project in lieu of providing funding on their behalf. So once I find out more information, we'll talk about that, and I'm sure there's going to have an agreement made between Dairy and the city to do the same kind of service.
Anybody have any other unfinished business items? What's going on with the truck? Did you get it ordered?
Yeah, the truck is ordered. We're hoping August, September, latest October. They really can't give me an exact date of delivery. So it is ordered. So what we're going to do is, I think at the agenda meeting, we're going to
The financing?
Yes, the financing.
Discuss the financing, whether amending the budget or talking about the CD that's going to expire in the next 4 months.
Okay, and what about parking garage?
parking garage that's agenda meeting also.
Okay, great, thank you. Any new business? No? Okay, we now have any other citizen requests to talk about anything in general? Anybody have anything on their minds?
James Miller, 127 East 4th Avenue in Latrobe. The water runoff, some houses have the driveways going down into like the basement of the house, and they generally have a drain at the bottom of the driveway. Is that going to be required to be changed in any way with these new regulations?
No.
Thank you. Also, I don't know if anybody heard, but we had a police officer in Derry Township, I believe. I would hope that passed away recently at the hospital, and he was only 37 years old. I would hope that everybody would keep him and his family in their prayers. The county has the demolition project, you know, where they tear down homes. I just happened to see there was an article in the paper. I was just wondering if Latrobe had applied for any funds for demolition this year. And also the city manager position, has it been posted, or what are the requirements or things like that? Somebody had asked me about the position, and I just wondering if it has been posted.
I was going to ask you that too, Ann. There was an article in the paper about the demolition project and the municipalities that got grant funding for that. Did we apply for any?
For one house.
We didn't get anything?
I'm still waiting for an answer right now.
Oh, okay.
I got it or not.
They already awarded them.
And we're still reviewing our options. We actually have a personnel committee meeting briefly after our council meeting tonight, so.
We're going to have a second amount of money that we're going to be giving out this year, so we may.
Are you telling me we only have one house?
You know, that I could get possession.
I can tell you about it now.
Oh, I know, the ones that we don't have a
Anyone else from the public have anything they want to share with council? City manager report. Mike, you got anything else?
No.
I think I covered everything too. Anyone else have anything else for the good of the order? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Baldneri. Second?
Second, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Forish. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Yeah, and then